it's when you look at it, JD finished sixth, and you're going to look at that and say, well, man, for them, that's a disappointing night. I would agree. For anyone else to finish sixth in the dream, well, you'd be pretty happy.
Oh yeah.
Stand and wave and make some noise. It is
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the 132nd edition of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast featuring two of us.
Yeah.
So, it's just us two, and coincidentally enough, it kind of works and fits.
Yeah. Yeah.
But before we get into it, I'm your Jack Mankel.
And I'm your tire changer Cam.
Just the two of us today. Is the third fella is over. He is over the drink, so he's got a little time change that's not working in his favor. So it's just the two of us for tonight. So
And we're back after a week off with just not being able to make it work out either.
yeah, so we had quite the week. I mean, we don't really even have to go what's going on because I saw you 7 hours ago this
Yeah,
morning.
something like that, yeah.
So yeah, we've spent the last
Week.
8 days together. Yeah. Long and the short of it, today what we're going to cover for you, high limit at Davenport a week ago. Today, Monday night, we head down there for that one, and then we spent the 4 nights of racing out at Eldora for the Dream and Floracing Night in America. So that's what you're going to get today. That's the plan for the episode. So we're going to talk a little news real quick. We're going to run through a few tidbits here, and then we'll jump right into the racing. So that's the agenda for today. Talking a little news. Basically, your asphalt news for the day. ASA Stars National Tour. They had the rescheduled race. They have moved their championship race to New Smyrna in November. So Nashville will not crown the champion for the ASA Stars National Tour. They've moved that rescheduled race to New Smyrna in November.
That's a part of then Governor's Cup weekend
Yep.
at that.
Nelson Motorsports, Karsten Lofton have mutually parted ways. The Cars Tour crew, along with Lofton, they have kind of just mutually parted ways. And not shortly after, Karsten Lofton is signed with Mike Darn Racing, or will race for them starting at Dominion this weekend. So didn't take long for the young hot shoot to find a ride in the Cars Tour again.
Yep.
Called racing in the free agent truck. IRP announcement, Connor Daly. He's going to race in the truck series for Colleague at IRP. And then the last one I got for you, and I think this is the least surprising news of the week. Corey Heim, full-time 23-11, filling the seat of that of Riley Herbst. So
Kind of piggyback off of that. Denny Hamlin let out a little tidbit in post-race coverage at Michigan last night, again, as we recorded on Monday, that Brent Cruz is in the eyes of Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yep.
Which is not a surprise either.
Yeah, for sure.
Jumping into, call it other news, Charles Leclerc and Ferrari have agreed to a multi-year renewal. Obviously, he's a few years in with Ferrari as it is. So that partnership will keep going for quite some time. Sticking with Formula One, F1 and the city of Las Vegas have extended their partnership through, and I kid you not on this, 2037. So we will have races in Vegas until 2037 at least.
Or until one of the two sides has had enough.
Yeah.
Do with that what you think it's worth.
Yeah. So news come on that. Justin Marks has been teasing this for a couple weeks, and he told everybody not to forget about that old Project 91 car that he's got. Well, there's good reason for that. Trackhouse Racing announced that Kevin Magnussen is set to run for Trackhouse Racing that Project 91 car at San Diego, making it his NASCAR debut for that race. So another Formula One star jumping into that car after Kimi Räikkönen. Obviously continues his trend of getting other superstars from other racing disciplines into that car.
Yep.
And then finally, in the IndyCar side of things, Christian Rasmussen has signed a new agreement with Ed Carpenter Racing. Again, just an extension of what he's currently got for 2027 and beyond is what they had on that one. And then finally, in sadder news, gentleman Ned Jarrett, Hall of Fame NASCAR driver and announcer, has passed away at the age of 93. So,
Yeah, it was NASCAR, the racing world has kind of just taken some lumps in the last little bit here.
yeah,
The off season now, just kind of another one that just not fun to talk about, you know?
yeah.
So, yeah. Well, that kind of wraps up the news for the week. It's kind of a short one from there, but this is where we start. If we did the math, the 58 and a half hours that we spent at the racetrack this week.
Yep.
So this is to give you some perspective. When they get to the track, we can't say that without doing it ourselves. Well, we did. And it started on Monday afternoon down at Davenport for the Iowa Lottery Duel at Davenport with the high limit sprint cars. So we bounced down there for that one. And man, what a show that was. We're glad to get down there to get to that one.
Yeah, and obviously this is second try number 2 with high limit at Davenport. First one, they got one session of hot laps in before Mother Nature opened up again at that point in time of the day and rained. But today that was not, or on that day, it was not an issue. We had clear skies. It was nice and warm. We had 30 cars there in the pits, and we knew we were going to be racing that night.
Yep. And man, that little quarter mile bull ring in down at Davenport, one beautiful facility.
Yep.
They had the cars parked on the concrete, so crews had concrete, which I'm sure they appreciated to be able to work on the cars on that. And then just the general admission grandstands, super nice place. Backrests on all the seats, plenty of room to see. I mean, you know, on that it's got the old fairgrounds feel. It is at the fairgrounds.
Yep.
But the covered grandstands, man, was that nice. So just a super nice place, a super nice facility to begin with. But
Yep.
yeah, track prep crew, tip of the cap to them. They had that baby racy from the start to the finish. And we were talking about this. Let's not forget this. That qualifying session had to be one of the funnest qualifying sessions.
Oh, man.
It was literally every car that went out, it was track record after track record after track record. And it came down to, I believe it was it Reitzel?
Let's see.
But anyhow,
Reitzel and neighbor, yeah.
Though that qualifying session was so fun.
Reitzel and Reitzel was in that last group that went out. He didn't even make it close. Rico was at 11.7 and Reitzel was at 11.4.
Yeah.
Didn't even make it close.
And you kind of saw the time start to creep down a little bit. There was a 12.0, there was 11.9, and then you start to creep into the 8s with a car here and there, and then Reitzel just talk about
down a lap.
Yeah, you talk about a hero lap.
Oh,
like my God, that was impressive to watch. So,
and if anybody were to say that the track slew down during qualifying, no, it didn't.
Did the complete opposite. It picked up in a hurry.
Yep.
So yeah, we were just talking about that. Man, that was like every car that went out, the crowd just whoa, track record. It was insanity.
Yeah.
But we knew we were gonna be in for a night at that point too. So talking about the feature really, right? I think really was only one real big dust up on the backstretch with Thorson. Ended up
Beck.
he actually got into the light pole back there a little bit.
Yeah.
So he kind of got twisted up in the light pole back there, and he was okay. But Thorson's a guy that had a really good stretch of races here until the last couple with a motor and now this. He's a guy that's kind of been hot and has kind of had some stuff not go his way right now, and they've kind of had a tough go of it. So
Yeah.
that was really the only like real big one.
And that wreck saved Larson too, because what a lot of people forget is he went he went up and over that berm in turn two trying to go for the lead.
Yep.
Ended up in what is that, a half mile on the outside?
Yep.
Was starting to make his way on that half mile. Caution comes out, gave him the spot back that got him back in position to run for that lead.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of went off the backstretch here a little bit, but yeah, man, Larson's been insane in that sprint car lately, and to actually see what he does and how he does it, especially a little quarter mile like that, in person is insane.
Oh,
It's one thing to watch it on TV, and it's another thing to just watch him rip the top and just literally go by people like they're standing still.
yep.
And that started his streak of 3 in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. Two, and pretty much won the two races that were held in Wisconsin.
Yep. So yeah, it was like I said, it just doesn't do it justice until you actually see it in person. Like you can visibly watch the gap shrink.
Yep.
Like TV is one thing, but boy, I mean, he's just in. He took the lead, and he probably heard the crowd from in the car. Like,
Easily.
The crowd was insane. It was
Yep.
just everyone was screaming when he went by. So, it was a really good race.
Yeah, for sure. Brent Marks coming off of a pretty rough stretch here lately, gets himself a second, another podium finish. Gio Selzy had his top 10 streak snapped. Well, why not start a new one by finishing P3?
Yep.
Brady Bacon and his limited starts in that sprint car, they're figuring it out. They're chipping away at it a little bit. Getting some good progress on it. I think it's gonna be only a matter of time before he wins in that car. And then you had your few locals. Locals or regionally touring guys
Yep.
come into there as well. I think the most notable of those guys was Will Armitage. He finished
Yep.
14th in that one after starting 10th, but that tells you where those touring guys come into play, right? They're doing that for a living.
Yep.
And they're going to be some of the best of the best. Yeah, again, just right. Great to see them race there again. Fairly clean, other
Yeah.
than one skirmish in the back, but yeah, just a good race.
Yeah, you had 24 cars start the A main. 20 of the 24 cars finished the race. So Tanner Holmes was the other one. He kind of got wrapped up in that mess on the backstretch.
Yeah, I got that top wing damaged when he was trying to get around there, and he didn't get the notification or didn't even know that his wing was damaged up until the pace laps. They just didn't have time to swap that wing out.
Yeah, he got another. There was one other just kind of single car spin, I believe, in 3 and 4, and that was his chance to try to change that top wing. And they went to the hot pit and just didn't have time to get it changed to be able to get him back out. So he ended up not finishing the race just because they didn't scrambling to try to get their top wing fixed. So or changed, I should say. But yeah, no, I mean, especially at a race like this at a tight little place, and you got the high limit was on a stretch of 9 races in 14 days. That to be able to change the top wing and say, all right, let's go racing tomorrow or the next day that's a win.
Yeah.
So, a lot of those cars, right, except with the exception of the 2 on the backstretch with Thorson and one other, a lot of those cars will be able to turn around and race the next night. So that's to come out of there with that, that's a cool thing. And again, like I said, that was a tip of the cap to the track prep crew to be able to make that thing racy all the way from the tires to the very top.
Yep.
So yeah, man, that's a cool place. I enjoy that place. So yeah, I've seen the late models there as well, and I'll tell you this, they're just as good. It's so fun to be there. So cool. Any final thoughts on High Limit?
No, again, good to get out there, finally see that one.
Yep.
I think that's my first sprint car race on the year. Um, I love sprint cars, so that's right up my alley. But no, was glad to get that one and set us up for what the week ahead was, essentially.
Yeah, and what a week we had. So we ventured out on Tuesday. Racing started Wednesday, headed out on Tuesday. Um, Before we even get into the racing, let's talk about that facility.
Oh,
Number one, so if for somebody visiting a place like that for the first time, what's your first concern before you even get in?
parking.
What was so easy
Where
to
am I
figure
going?
out?
Parking. We never had to change our spot.
We now, I will say we were religiously early for this one
Well, correct.
every single day, but we could have come 2 hours later and been in the
Area.
same lot, in the same area, right?
Yep.
Like we're a little particular. There's about 5 trees in the parking lot. We wanted to park under one of the trees. Like we did what we do. But so one, parking, easy to figure out. Two, once you got into the facility, not even the racetrack itself, but just the facilities themselves, the concessions, the bathrooms, everything was immaculate every
Yep.
single day. Clean, clean. Everything was spotless clean. And I think from a general race fan standpoint, that's all you can ask for.
Yep.
So it was just the way they took care of that place, or do take care of the place, I should say, is insane.
I think a good way to summarize it is not just a dirt track, that is a high-end racetrack.
Correct.
Plain and
Correct.
simple.
And you said, and we talked about it a little bit. You said the place gave you NASCAR racetrack type feel.
Yep.
So, yeah, again, and with Tony Stewart running the show, they weren't going to miss a beat.
Oh,
So,
no.
and then for us being there the first time, we didn't realize how banked the place is to begin with.
Yep. That's a classic. TV does not do that place justice.
Yeah, just you watch it on TV and it seems flat, and then you get there and you look up to the wall and you're like, "Holy man, that's a long ways up there, and it's up the wall."
Yep.
So, man, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about the facility itself, let alone the racing that it puts on.
And then not to mention too, one of the probably only dirt tracks, if well, I shouldn't say the only, but one of the very few that actually have a pedestrian tunnel to get into the pits.
Yep, the love tunnel.
The love tunnel, yep.
Yep. So, yeah, you can come and go. Like we were walking out on Friday night, we were literally walked out underneath the tunnel, race cars on the racetrack.
Yep.
So, you're not in or out. You can come and go as you want, when you want, and do what you please. So that was also pretty awesome.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into the racing side of this whole deal. So, 4 nights of racing really is what it out here, and it started on Wednesday night with a standalone event for the week with Flow Racing Night in America.
Yep.
Flo loves to little teaser prelim action to the big show, and that was exactly what we got. Man, they had 83,
84 was on the entry list.
83, 84 cars attempted to make that feature. They started 24. So that tells you the caliber of cars that were racing to try to get into that show. where do you want to start with this one?
Well, right, when you got 84 cars and you got to run 6 heats, well, after 2 qualifying groups, right? 6 heats, 3B mains, and a feature. You want to talk about a smoothly ran show.
Yeah.
I mean, there was going,
Yep.
right? But um right, this was a test and tune session of sorts for a lot of the guys that ended up making, well, it's just racing as a whole, but otherwise making the feature. Um and it set up who could be good and who to keep an eye out for. Um and I think two guys that ended up having to keep an eye on, other outside of your regular, right, top notch guys throughout the year. Dale
Yep.
McDowell, who for whatever reason is just phenomenal at Eldora, loves the joint,
Yep.
and Devin Moran. I think were the two guys that were really starting to show their stuff. Um, I think we'll touch on this guy in a little bit, but Trey Mills would also kind of be in that discussion as well.
Yeah, Trey Mills, the youngster finished sixth on the night.
Yep.
Outran the likes of Blair, Herb, Huddy,
O'Neill,
JD,
Davenport,
Bronson, Marler, Josh Rice,
Shirley,
Ryan Shirley.
Overton. I mean, right? List goes on.
Yep. A guy that had some bad luck on Saturday night, but that had obviously was the hard charger for the night. Brandon Shepard went plus 17 to finish fourth.
Hmm.
Kind of had a little bit of a tough qualifying effort. I kind of put him behind, but I mean, you want to talk about racing through the field. He won the B main 3 to get himself in. And then he went from the tail to the front and he just it's one of those races that you watch and you go, if he didn't have to run a B main, even if he'd come in through a heat, last car to transfer through heat, what he could have done with the little track position.
Yep.
Because that car, that Rocket One, was hooked up.
And that was a race that reminded me that went green to checkers, didn't it?
Sure did. 50 green to checkers.
So you're just constantly up on the wheel to get through that field to boot.
Yeah. And I said this too, watching you talk about Saturday night. Saturday night was even worse. The way that place is when you get leaders get to lap traffic, you don't know where to watch.
Yep.
You got guys side by side all over the place, and you just don't like. You can watch the video board in 1 and 2, but you're missing everything else in 3 and 4. Like it, when leaders got to lap traffic, it was honestly kind of hard to keep track of
Yeah.
to a certain degree.
Yep.
But I mean, for the fan, that's action on every bit of that racetrack, and that's all you can ask for. But yeah, a guy is kind of trying to watch everything all at once. But yeah, you kind of hit on it. Moran and McDowell have been very good at Eldora, and I think Hoffman won that feature. I think he's somebody he's kind of starting to figure out either that place or he's really got that Torrig crew getting him a piece that he likes or is feel comfortable in.
Well, obviously he's fighting for the championship, right? In the World Outlaws, right?
Yep.
But I mean, he's coming off of two top three finishes at Eldora between last year's Dream and last year's World 100.
Yep.
So come in there first night of the week and be able to win that show, right? That's a huge confidence booster.
Won that show, and then to give you a little teaser, finished third on Saturday night.
Yep. So he kept
Found
the streak
himself on the
going.
podium. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we stacked all them guys up in one field to kind of give us a little bit of insight to what that looked like for the rest of the weekend. So,
And you could say with a big field like that should be almost steals the show for the week type of thing. But boy, were we wrong with when it came to Dream Time, how that intensity notch went up another 10 clicks.
oh yeah, So let's go ahead and how do you want to cover the dream? How do you want
Well, I mean,
to? Well, let's start with this. There seemed to be some confusion to how the format works.
for some people,
For some people, the format was confusing. Half of
simple.
the field on Thursday night,
Yeah,
half of the field on Friday night.
yeah,
Then they merge everyone together for heat races, last chances, the big show on Saturday.
yep.
It's qualifying, heat races, and feature all score you points. And they pointed everyone together. So JD and Bobby Pierce tied for your high point man.
Yep.
But from a structure standpoint, when you're saying 84 cars or whatever it was, they didn't all racing on both nights.
At least for the dream portion of it. Yep.
Correct. For the
Um,
dream.
I think, if we're gonna stick with our nightly order here, night one, straight into the jump into the A main, what a tough way to end your dream weekend early for Eli Johnson, flipping that car
Yeah.
after a questionable slider from Herb.
Yep. Yeah, he not mince words on social media by any means
No.
either. Um so yeah, that was someone say you got turboed,
Yeah.
but
And he had that Rowdy Burns, I think was or
yep,
yeah, Rowdy Burns paint scheme from Days of Thunder.
yep. Um yeah, that was kind of the big takeaway from the first night. And then so all between the two fields, when you looked at it, you knew Friday night was gonna be tough as nails.
Oh man.
When you looked at the field on Friday night, I mean, the likes of the field that was a part of that Friday night show, JD, Dale McDowell, Brandon
Overton,
Overton,
Hoffman, Shepard, Mills, Shirley, Marler, uh, right, Ziegler, who's been kind of on a bit of a tear here recently.
Joseph Joyner was in there as well.
Yeah,
It just was you knew it was going to be tough as nails, and it proved to be exactly that. Exactly that.
yep, yep. Davenport gets the win on that one, which, right, obviously with his hot streak of three in a row for Dreams, coming in that one. That just looked like right there. Yeah. Yep. That's that Davenport car that we know and love and was going to be a threat if he could get the heat races and everything else to play his way.
Yeah, when you looked at the Friday night feature, right? When you say JD, Overton, McDowell, right? Your top three, you would say, yeah, sounds about right. Uh Jason Fager finished fourth on Friday night.
Workman's Day after leading a good number of laps and led and got out and ran away early and had
Yep.
a chance to at least give himself a shot if he didn't get a caution.
Yep. Man, he had a good weekend.
Yep.
Had a very good weekend. Hoffman fifth, Ashton Winger sixth. Again, Trey Mills seventh. Max Blair, Brandon Shepard, Ryan Gustin round out your top 10. So, man, the field was just so tough on Friday night that you just knew you were going to have to be on it in terms of being ready to go. So that Friday night show kind of led us into Saturday. The Wheel of Misfortune was a 3, the lowest number they could spin.
Yep.
I guess Bobby technically spun it, but him and JD were tied as the top point man. So you got a 3 that inverted the heat races. So your pole sitters for each heat race started third, and away we went on Saturday. Well, we had to get there first.
Correct. Yep. And
It was
had to
not
fight a
looking
little bit of
good.
weather.
it was not looking good there early in the morning, and the radar was not helping us at night. But again, tip of the cap to the track crew for getting that thing ready. It went from puddles to drainage systems backed up in the infield to, all right, we're going to roll the main.
Yep.
They made it happen. Now,
Yep.
the track was narrow for heat races, but what are you going to do? You know, you already
And especially with how it ended up running the night, where they didn't really work the track at all, just a little bit of packing, a little bit of watering throughout the night to prep for that feature and get that going.
Yep.
I think you would rather we were talking about this. You would rather have a racy feature than racy heats just to make sure you can get that feature in.
Yep. Yeah. And it was a little narrow, pretty hammered down, but it was not looking good there for a little while. And Eldora did what it does, and they found a way to get her done. Looking at it, that was, let's take a look at our Saturday night A-main. So it started 26 cars
Yep.
for that one. Somebody that raced his way in as literally the last car into the race was Dan Ebert.
Yep.
Finished 11th. Dude just hung around, just bided his time and just hung around. This Saturday night, really the only stop, if you want to call it, that we really had was Brandon Shepard broke in 3 and 4. He broke, kind of caught the fence. It turned him sideways in the middle of the top, and Hudson O'Neill had nowhere to go.
Yep.
So, those were the two guys that kind of had issues per se.
We've got to mention too about Friday night, Hoffman and Ziegler.
Oh yeah,
And that flip from Ziegler down that front stretch.
yeah, that was the first time I've seen race cars go upside down. That one was just a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, he was okay. Unfortunately, he only had one car, so that was the end of his dream. But yeah, again, that's one of those things. Same thing as we talked about the racetrack. Video doesn't do that justice when you see it happen.
No.
So that was a hard, flat landing for him.
Yeah. But then, again, going back here to the A-main on Saturday, yeah, you had that little dust up there. I thought we blew a tire. Bronson?
Yep. Bronson had one. I think there was like 2.
Yeah, I don't remember who the other one was. But I mean, again, right? So that race in the past has had its deal with tires. And to not have them essentially in this round of it, I think was kudos.
Yep.
Um, and again, like there was a really long run to end that race out, to which it played out in those guys that could run real long in those favors. Pierce, Blair, Hoffman, Dale McDowell, right? A lot of these guys are coming back. Look at where they started: 13th, 8th, 15th, 16th, 12th, 14th.
Yep.
Like they're mid pack and making their way up through, and that's just experience and knowing how to run these long races coming into play.
Yeah, and you look at it, right? Dale McDowell, Devin Moran, Jonathan Davenport. Hoffman's kind of starting to figure this place out. Like those are guys. Oh, RTJ had a flat too.
Oh yeah.
Those are guys that you're going to count on to be there at the end, no matter where they start.
Yep.
And again, like it's when you look at it, JD finished 6th, and you're going to look at that and say, well, man, for them, that's a disappointing night. I would agree. For anyone else to finish 6th in the dream, well, you'd be pretty happy.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm sure they were disappointed in that, but still finished sixth. Like the car was in one piece. You can push it into the trailer, and they can get that thing ready for the world. But
Yep.
yeah, the cream rises to the top, and it always does, especially with these long races. So, yeah, that was. I mean, again, it kind of goes back to, I think, with Pierce. With the way he runs the top there, it kind of is the same. Gives you that same feel when we talked about watching what Larson does in person.
Yep.
You don't really realize until he's on the move, and you look at it, and you're like, he's tearing the fence down, but man, was he passing cars in a hurry.
Yep.
So, kind of gives you the same feel of watching Larson in person a little bit. Like, here comes the 32.
Yep.
So, yeah. Any other thoughts on the dream, the experience, the racetrack? What do you got?
Well, I got to give some flowers to Trey Mills, right? He started up front, led a good number of laps. And I
Yep.
think that's just inexperience in a late model for this long of a race is kind of what bit him a little bit.
Yep.
But this is the race of like, all right, he's really starting to figure this thing out. It's only going to be a matter of time.
It's only gonna be a matter of time. They're a little bit. It's a family operation, so I don't want to say smaller, but they are just a little bit. When that kid, you can see it already. He's finding speed already. When he really, really figures this out, he's going to be dangerous.
Yep.
You can see it now. He's starting to really find it. When this kid like really finds what he needs in that car, he's gonna be tough to beat.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think the other part of the experience is, everybody that we ran into and talked to, or we got to talk to the guys that we wanted to talk to, everybody was top notch.
Yep.
And we posted kind of some little bits and pieces of it on social media, but you talk about the Dustin Jarrett, Ben Shelton conversations. We talked to them collectively for probably 20, 25 minutes. They didn't have to do that, but man, that was incredible dudes.
Yep.
Just all the people that we ran into and talked to were nothing but great. So we crossed this one off our bucket list. If you're a dirt late model fan, this is one you got to get to.
Yeah. Right. Cheap concessions too. Super family friendly.
Yep.
Like bring everybody.
Yep.
Um,
Beer's $3.
Beer
Cheeseburger,
Surrey.
cheeseburger 4.
Yep.
Like it's your normal person, and we were talking to some of the people that were around us, and like, yeah, beer used to be $2, and like, man, they raised the price of beer, but it was $3.
Yep. I'll be okay with a $3 beer.
Absolutely. So that's the part of it that, like, even from that standpoint, you get in there and it's like you never know what to expect, but very, very, very reasonable
Yep.
from the get-go. So, yeah, I mean, you had every merch hauler that you could want was in the place. I mean, concessions everywhere, bathrooms everywhere. Like, it was just, that was so well run, top to bottom.
Yep.
From an event as a whole. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm glad we did it.
Yep.
That was a hell of an event. So, cool. Any final thoughts?
No, I enjoyed it. Like I said, another one crossed off the list, and gonna have to figure out another one at some point.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So, all right, that wraps up the dream trip, the week of spending the entire week at the racetrack and crossing off a bucket list item or race. So let's go ahead and jump into the Wheelman of the week. We've got 6 of them here. I'll take the first 3. We'll kind of rip through these and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
The Joseph Joyner, back to back with the Northern All Stars, comes up a couple days early, does a little racing, cashes two $10,000 paydays, winning one, including one at Brownstown. Paulie Schaefer going back another week as we've taken a week off. He went two in a row in the Super Late, winning in with the Midwest Tour, and then winning the Alive for Five Super Late race, which had plenty of storylines come out of that one.
Got that right.
And Kyle Larson, three in a row with High Limit. That's just a little reminder that he hasn't lost his touch in the sprint car.
Yep. Dalton Zier, another Midwest Tour race here, goes back to back years at Norway, with the Midwest Tour. The aforementioned Bobby Pierce, he takes home a grand total of $130,000 of winnings, after winning his prelim night and the overall dream, at Eldora. And then Denny Hamlin, 2 weeks in a row, with NASCAR, first at Nashville and then at Michigan, both of them coming from the back of the field.
Yep. Danny qualified in the pole,
For Michigan.
got sent to the back before the race, got to the front, spun out and a part of one of the messes, and then made his way back through the field to win the race. So, yeah, insane.
So, all right, with that in mind, where are you going with this?
I think I'm down to two.
I'm also down to two.
Schaefer,
Not one of mine.
Larson.
That was one of mine.
Who was your other?
Denny Hamlin.
Oh boy. Okay.
The way that Paulie ran that Alive for Five race, racing side by side with Venhouse and not really roughing him up at all. I mean,
Yep.
makes the guy think about it.
Okay.
Larson winning three in a row though in a sprint car.
That's kind of where I'm leaning. Three in a row at three different racetracks and three different nights. I kind of feel like that's where I'm at. I can settle on that.
That's kind of where I'm at here as well.
Okay. Sprint car Kyle Larson gets the Wheelman of the week this week. Where do you finish in the Cup race? Let me take a look quick. Let's see, just because I'm curious.
Let's see who gets it first. Fourth.
So in three races, he had 3 and 4, 7. He had a very, very low average finish.
Yeah.
But I think for all intensive purposes, sprint car Kyle Larson gets this one.
Oh, absolutely.
So, that's the Wheelman of the week. Where are we at with that? That's his first one of the year. Wow. All right. First one of the year for Larson. That'll be our second sprint car guy to get that one for the year. Wing sprint car.
And both with High Limit.
Yep. For sure. Schedules. Let's take a look at that. We'll just talk real briefly on a couple that we've got our eye on for the week. And then we'll go from there. What are you watching?
Well, I'm going to hit on a couple of them here. Schedules will be posted later today or are already posted, depending on when you listen to this. I guess really looking at a quick glimpse of the schedule here, I got two of them that I'm keeping an eye out on.
Yep.
One of them is a week-long deal with the USAC Midgets, and they're starting their USAC Midget Week at Indiana. So they'll be hitting up a ton of the Indianapolis or greater Indiana area tracks for their Midget Week, which I always look forward to that, right? Keeps some guys busy and is always great racing. The other one that I'm looking at here, This is a world special. This is only the world special that I've got here on our schedule. The 24-hour Le Mans, right? It's the classic sports car race, the classic dirt race. Am I going to watch it? No, because I can't, for starters. Um, but right, it's a 24-hour Le Mans, right? So
Yeah. Kind of a couple that I got my eye on as I'm flipping through, just kind of looking at what's coming up. Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series back in action. They are racing at Magnolia for one. Yeah, both nights at Magnolia. And then the other two I got my eye on, the Midwest Truckers are back in action, along with the Tundra Superlates for the last and final Bob and Bev Asherbrenner Memorial. That's at Marshfield Motor Speedway. So a little bit of a reunion for the Truck Series and Tundra Superlates, kind of dating back to their beginnings. So they'll be in action at the big half mile at Marshfield on Saturday afternoon.
yep.
So cool. As always, as we say, and we've done it ourselves, make sure you can get to your racetrack, whichever is closest to you. Make sure you get there, support them, make sure that they are taking care of that.
If there's one thing I want to point out, so we added up some points here.
Yep.
So we had Nashville and the Dream were the 2 points getters ones because we didn't do Michigan picks.
Yep.
Obviously you made out well at Nashville.
Yep.
Not so much the Dream.
Nope.
Cam was our overall winner for the Dream portion of it. With him picking Davenport and Pierce for his picks. I ended up coming in second with Hoffman and Overton, and then you were rounded out the field with Moran and Shepard, which Shepard did not help you at all.
Yeah.
So the overall point standings here, Cam closes up the gap here a little bit. I'm currently at 840. He's just trailing behind me at 823, and then you've got some work to do at 676.
Yeah. This has been a tough year for me at the old race pick section.
We're gonna make Pocono picks, but I think we're gonna handle that in the group chat.
Well,
we can do the two.
Yeah, you and I can pick. We can go based on
Our picking order here.
Yeah. For Pocono for the Cup Series, I will take the hottest guy in the sport, Denny Hamlin.
It's a good pick.
Finished runner-up a year ago. Only to his teammate of Pace Briscoe.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Give me another Toyota here. I'm going to take a chance on this one. Give me Reddick.
Okay. We will get Cam's pick in the group now. Oh.
And we'll recap that next week.
Yep, for sure. Well, that wraps up the 132nd edition of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast. As we always say, make sure to get to the racetrack. Make sure they are alive and well, and you get to see racing at your local racetrack, whether that be dirt, asphalt, or anything in between. As always, that little thing down in the corner, if you just click that real quick, you can get all the notifications for podcasts, for any of the content we post, for our posts on any of our social media stuff. All of that good stuff is on there. So be sure to hit the little subscribe button, get that taken care of. It's easy and free to do, and it's nice and quick. So, Again, as always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you all next week for another edition of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast.